Howdy, and welcome back. I'm Steven, and this is FWP Reviews. Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out in just 19 days as of today. As a longtime self-proclaimed fan of Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel, I am beyond excited. Hesitantly, though. As a pretty big fan of Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, I was extremely excited for the first Justice League movie. At the time, I was pretty oblivious to the turmoil that was going on at Warner Bros. I walked out of the theater really disappointed, and I ultimately really didn't know why. Many years later, I'm finally caught up on the situation, and something I never thought would happen is happening. We're getting Zack Snyder's Justice League. Because of that, you're getting 2 special videos leading up to the release. Today, you're getting an episode on the might of Man of Steel. On March 17th, the day before the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League, I'm going to be starting a new series, and the first episode is going to center around Batman vs. Superman. More on that later, though. For now, let's take a look at the might of Man of Steel. Superman in the comics has been a historically mighty character. Following the 90s, a decade filled with goofy movies about characters that everybody loved, we finally saw something that nobody thought would work. We saw James Bond and Batman both get really gritty reboots that were extremely successful. This comes in the form of Casino Royale and Batman Begins respectively. The thing is, with James Bond and Batman, they're both human beings using relatively human devices. The gritty reboot should and did come easily with a great team behind it. On the other hand, Superman is historically one of the most comically overpowered superheroes ever. A gritty reboot about Superman? You might call it a little more than ambitious. Yet with Man of Steel's release in 2013, Zack Snyder did just that. It was met with mixed reviews, and it was far from universally loved. There is a myriad of reasons why that could be the case. The rise of the more goofy and lighthearted MCU, hard-hearted fans who are stuck in tradition, or maybe it really was just that much of a mixed bag. I'm not here to speculate or give an answer to that question. I'm here to explain why I think Man of Steel was the movie that Superman needed. Man of Steel opens with an action-packed and highly optimized scene. The opening scene on Krypton is filled with action and important information for the rest of the movie. It serves to give a great background on Zack Snyder's take on Superman. The emotional punch that it packs is also really strong. Throughout this movie, we see Clark Kent filling into the Superman or superhero he will become. One of the best examples of this is the flight scene. This scene is one of the most powerful in the movie by far. It's a pretty interesting scene seeing Superman having to learn how to fly, and it also really effectively throws the themes in the viewer's face. A really important part of Clark Kent's arc, not only in this movie but in the following movies, is his family. It tackles the tough questions about who and when you can save, because when you inevitably get found out, people are going to be really confused about it. It's always risky to use your powers because of this. It tackles this in the bus scene, in the tornado scene, and in many other scenes all throughout the movie. Having to see Clark's Earth father die in order to protect this secret was a surprising yet very emotional decision. Something this movie does pretty well is how it balances the flashbacks with the present day scenes. It bounces back and forth a lot, but it's really never that taxing on the viewer. This is helped by Henry Cavill's supreme performance as Clark Kent and Superman. The supporting performances by Amy Adams, Kevin Costner, Diane Lane, and Russell Crowe are extremely strong. This movie has a huge scope for something that could be compared to a gritty reboot like Batman Begins. Zack takes a really interesting approach to that idea though. He also does a superb job of making the film look polished and look extremely beautiful. We see excellent camera work and visuals from the start of the movie to the very end. Michael Shannon's Zod is a really effective approach to a pretty well-known villain in terms of comic book circles. His motives weren't the strongest, and they were a little played out already, but when Michael Shannon is locked in, it is evident why he and this villain were the right choice for the movie. In the end, we see a huge and destructive battle play out over Metropolis. This allows for us to see the reversal that we do see in Batman vs. Superman. In this movie though, it serves to display the spectacle and the might of the characters that are fighting out in the city. It is fascinating to see just how destructive these two super beings can be. We also see Clark face an ultimate test when he is required to kill General Zod. Anybody who argues this scene is out of the comic book Superman Superman's character obviously has no real grasp on interpretation. This moment not only effectively ends the arc for this movie, it also sets the trajectory for a movie after. We of course see that arc play out in Batman vs Superman, but the way it ends an arc and starts a beginning arc, it doesn't really leave anything to be desired if you just watch that movie and don't watch Batman vs Superman. A final note about this movie is just how awesome the score is by Hans Zimmer. There's so much breath and gall within the score that you just have to sit back with your mouth open and just enjoy it. With that, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Man of Steel is probably one of my favorite comic book movies ever. I think the huge spectacle and combined with really well played out characters and moments just creates for this awesome movie. In this movie, we get to see a character you never would think a gritty reboot would work for play out just a little bit less better than Casino Royale or Batman Begins. Of course, in the near future, keep an eye out for my video on Batman vs Superman, and until then, this is FWP Reviews signing off. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.